Let's talk about the drivers. Let's talk about the boats. Let's give you the stories as we get set to go racing. And Mike Fitzsimmons, Dave Villwock at the controls of the Miss Budweiser is the story in that big red boat.
Yeah, he was wearing a little orange paint last week, and he wants to do a little pay and back. He realizes this is going to be a bump and grind contest today. The boat is very, very fast. Of course, we just paid tribute to his former owner, the late Bernie Little, Joe Little, keeping this boat going just like his dad.
Bill Rocky, how emotional was it for the guys down in the pits there, the Budweiser side?
It was very emotional. It meant a lot to them, and obviously that's a big part of their lives. Right now, Dave Villwock really had his game face on. He qualified as the top qualifier here, but as you know, I think he's got a little more.
All right, Bill Rocky. Now let's talk about the Toyota of Kirkland boat. That's Mitch Evans at the control. There we go. Ed Cooper Jr. Chip?
The Toyota of Kirkland is the fastest piston-powered boat to ever go around a race course, ever. The other thing, it can't be restricted like the turbines. Gary Garbutt can manipulate the turbines to keep them even. There's nothing he can do to that piston engine. He's free to race.
Gard Swanson, how about the Toyota pits?
Well, you know, I talked to about 3 or 4 crew members just a few minutes ago, and these guys are just super relaxed right now. And Mitch, I talked to him as well. These guys want to win today, and you kind of get the feeling that they've been here before. They want to do it again, and they are just ready to go. You might remember they won their first race of the year in Evansville, and they want to do it again today.
Brothers are side by side, Mitch and Mark. Here's Mark in the Lumar boat.
This is not laid-back Mark Evans. It's race time. He knows where that throttle is, and he also knows how to take advantage of the head games being played by the other fellas. So look for Mark Evans to poke his nose in there and get a good lane start.
Mike Hansen is a terrific driver in the Skyway Park Bowl. Does he have enough boat, Chip?
I don't know. This team's fallen on a bit of hard times. They won the Gold Cup 2 years ago. They had a great season, but this year they just can't seem to make things happen.
Mike Weber is the pilot of the Grand Central Casino boat, and Kim Gregory's the owner there.
Boat's giving up something on technology. These other guys are ahead of him on designs and shapes, and he has to drive very, very hard to stay with them and sometimes gets himself in trouble. I think this is the boat to watch if anybody's going to get loose in this one.
And finally, the Elam boat with Nate Brown. Chip, perhaps it's a good thing that Nate Brown is way outside and Dave Villwock is way inside.
I think Gary Garbutt has realized that you don't want to put these guys together till you have to in the final. But Nate's a competitive guy. He won here 2 years ago in a beautiful driver performance. Maybe he can do it again this year.
Greg England, what's going on in the Elam pits?
Well, the drivers were warned last night about all that contact from last week. This morning, I asked Nate about that warning. He said he's an aggressive driver. It's the only thing he knows, and this first heat could dictate how much contact we see throughout the day.
All right, Mike, as we are now counting down to about 1:20 before the start. Already the boats are slowing down here in the south end of the course, getting set. Let's pick it up, the call of Heat 1A with Mike Fitzsimmons.
And they are fighting for lanes in this one. They are not pre-assigned lanes, and it looks like Mike Hansen wants to try to grab that one. He snuck inside the course there. Now he's moving out just a little bit and trying to hold on to that position. Now the MCOR boat has moved up a little bit faster. Chip, how do you think they're lined up there?
Well, you said Mike got the inside, Mike Hansen, but he's dead in the water right now. I can see him trying to restart, but it's too late. If he gets restarted now, he's got to go to the outside because that inside is taken away. The other thing that surprises me is how hard they all fought for the inside. This is just the first heat of the day, but they're going at it like it's a final.
And gentlemen, before we get to racing, we've got to tell you that Howie Hilliker from Sammamish has an opportunity today to win our Shucks Auto Supply $1 Million Challenge. Howie, good luck.
All right, the time is ticking down there at the arc of the north turn, and don't really like the position of the MCOR inside like that. That could be a bit of a factor here. I'd rather see him out a little bit given the boat's performance and given the fact that he's going to be diving into the Genesee Gap here very shortly. Budweiser in lane number 2. It's the Skyway lane number 3. Here comes the Vacationville in lane 4 on the outside. We've got Nate Brown as they come roaring down into the first corner. It appears we have a legal start, but look at the pressure being put on that boat in the 4th lane there. Lots of water thrown on him. There could be a violation there as they come through the first corner. Off first, it is the MCOR, and he came out very nicely.
Go ahead, Chip. I tell you what, Mike, two guys got left at the start. I think Nate Brown got left, and I think Mark Evans got left. And as you said, there was a lot of crowding, and I think there's going to be a call on that one right away, right off the bat this morning.
I believe so. There was no lane there, obviously. It's Miss Budweiser, your leader now, as we go into the north turn. Keep in mind, this is a 4-lapper, not a 3-lapper. The preliminary heats are 4. Final is 5 this year. And Miss Budweiser and Dave Villwock comes off the corner in about the 3 lane and holds very nicely. And will come down to the start-finish line with the lead at the end of lap number 1. On the inside, it's the MCOR boat, the Grand Central Casino, the yellow and blue there, as they come down into the lower corner once again. Chip, pick them up there as we've got a little wind down there.
Well, the real surprise to me is the performance of the Grand Casino boat, because this is the best I've seen the boat run in not only this year, but maybe a couple of years. The other thing that surprises me is look at Mark Evans way in the back. He was really late at the start. Nate Brown was also late, but look, it looks like Nate's picking up on the Grand Casino.
And Mitch Evans is down on power. His boat going back to the pit area. The MCOR Grand Central Casino missed a buoy in the lower corner down there. Went inside a buoy, hooked a bit, and he's going to draw the ire of the officials as well. That's going to put him a lap behind. Here comes Miss Budweiser down to finish lap number 2 into the wind. The boat getting a lot of air underneath it as he comes down. And we've got a very, very good race for second and third. We got the penalty on the yellow boat, but here comes Nate Brown. He's not sure whether a penalty has been assessed yet, so he is pressing it as they come down at the start-finish line, almost dead heat there in 4th place overall. Physically on the race course, it's the Skyway, and in 5th place, and surprisingly in 5th place only, it is the Lumar. Through the corner again, Chip. Got a lot of rough water down there.
Got a lot of rough water. Boats are hit pretty hard. Mike Hansen's getting a real beating. The sad thing is I see the Toyota of Kirkland here at the dock. They're going to get no points, so right away they're going to have a hard time making that final heat. Nobody's touching Dave right now.
Bad luck for Mitch Evans right off the top. But there's a lot of scrambling going on yet, and there may be still some issues to deal with the officials that may change the complexion of the finish here. All right, we've got the white flag out now on the start-finish line for Dave Villwock. Everything going his way, but he's getting a rough ride. There's a lot of wind coming up that front straightaway there, and they're all hitting it. Meanwhile, we still got a head-to-head battle going on between the Grand Central Casino and the Elam. Elam also getting loose as it comes across the start-finish line to end lap number 3 in 2nd place now. And Hansen's starting to reel in that pair as well. I think he realized there may have been a penalty.
Right. Look under these boats how hard. What's happening is we've got some wind, but that's not what's getting the boats up in the air. What's happening is what they call rattling up. It means the sponsons hit a wave, it gets the bow pitched up, and then the wind gets under it. So it's a bad combination of rough water getting the bow up and then the wind keeping it up.
Exactly. Launching right off those rollers. All right, Miss Budweiser, no problem, staying out of trouble. Dave Villwock driving his race. Has the checkered flag in sight now as he comes down to the start-finish line to end lap number 4 and take the first heat of the General Motors Cup. The Budweiser compressor stalling just a little bit, backing off a little bit on speed as well. But we've got a drag race in the 2nd position, and now it looks like even a 3rd boat has pushed into that drag race to the start-finish line here. It is physically the MCOR Grand Central Casino and the Elam. And look at the Skyway come out on the outside. Mike is really trying to make something of it. Oh, virtually a photo finish there, but it looks like the Elam had the advantage. Now, the question is whether or not the yellow and blue boat has a penalty for going inside a buoy. We saw her skip inside there in the lower turn at lap number 2. So they're going around again. Obviously, that's the story. You know, we may also have some penalties relative to that start, so these guys are still racing.
They're still racing. The reason they're racing is the penalty means it's a 1 lap. If you miss a buoy, you have to go an extra lap. So that's why you see some racing still going on from some guys. The thing that's been interesting, Mark Evans was never a factor. He wasn't a factor at the start line. He was late. And the boat, unlike Mike Hansen, who was behind and was able to move up, Mark Evans couldn't move up, and that's a surprise.
All right, Mike Hansen now in the Skyway Park is coming down to take the checkered flag, having run an additional lap. And he will have the official 2nd place position, it appears, and 3rd, the MCOR Grand Central Casino. And the Elam, excuse me, he'll have the 3rd place. The Elam had the 2nd place, and the 4th place goes to the Grand Central.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you're going to win the final, if you're Mark Evans or if you're Nate Brown, you got to do a better start than that. Even Dave was a little bit late, but that's to be expected. The first heat of the day, you really don't have your rhythm going. You know, you make adjustments as the day goes on.
Awful lot of crowding, though, right down there in the first corner, right off the top, Chip. And you expected that sort of thing. That's what we're talking about in terms of the bumping and grinding. The question is it dangerous? And if it is, it's almost impossible not to assess the penalty, and that's exactly what they had to do.
Mike, as the Budweiser ran away with this first race, let's go down to the Budweiser pit. A lot of happy faces down there. Bill?
Thanks a lot. I'm with Joe Little. And Joe, smooth start. Dave got ahead. Everything so far so good.
It looked really good. Obviously, you could see it. The water's really rough. When you see the bottom side of the boats 2 or 3 times, you know it's rough out there. Can't wait to talk to Dave and congratulate him. But, yeah, the victory here in the first heat race is good.
And that was all the good boats there, so that's kind of a nice omen for you guys, too.
Well, when they jockey for lanes and he's able to get into maybe 1 or 2 position, he has a good chance. So we'll take what we can get.
Thanks, Joe. So far, so good for the Budweiser.
Indeed, so far so good. And we watched the Budweiser, Mike, out here at practice yesterday, and really the smoothest boat on the water, it seemed, 24 hours ago, and that's pretty much continued for Dave Villawak.
They have worked on the boat ride inside, outside, knowing full well they're going to have to run from every slot there is here today, and they have found combinations for everything. So I think the Budweiser folks have come to play for sure.
Chip, I think what's interesting is we watched the Budweiser here, and it made it look easy in the first heat. It's not going to be nearly as easy second time around because the powers that be will make sure that it's not as easy on the Bud team.
It's not going to be as easy. I'm sure you're going to get better starts out of Nate and some of the other guys. You might ask yourself, well, why was Dave going so fast when he had such a lead? Well, the reason he was going so fast is he's trying to learn something. He's trying to learn how the boat's going to handle in rough water in the final heat. If he goes slow and just wins the heat, sure, he gets the points, but he really doesn't learn anything.
Fastest lap in that heat was the first lap, 144.427 miles an hour by the Bud. And that's the quickest lap so far.
Let's find out what happened to the Toyota of Kirkland boat. Mitch Evans, the pilot. Gart Swanson has it.
All right, Steve. So, Mitch, what happened? It looked like total power failure.
Yeah, God, of all things, we lost a plenum. It's a welded piece that goes on the top of the motor, which keeps the pressure in it. And without that, it just goes to an idle.
How serious is this?
Well, it's not serious in the fact that we got to finish all these heats, to be there at the end of the day. So it hurt us bad in points. We got another motor. We'll make the changes, and we'll be ready for the next heat.
And how quickly can you get that done?
Fairly quickly, probably 10-15 minutes. We got quite a bit of time, so we're all right there. Like I said, it's real disappointing. We need those finish heats at the end of the day, but hey, we'll be back and go for it.
All right, thanks a lot, Mitch. Let's head over to the Budweiser crew, where our Bill Rocky is standing by. Bill?
Thank you, and Dave, good start, but it's bumpy out there.
Thankfully, it's nice and rough out at Seattle this morning. So Budweiser team set the boat up for the condition, I guess, and I was able to get in and out of the rough water turns a little quicker than the other guys, and luckily stayed out of trouble, and that's the key to Seattle, I think.
Some of the guys right here were getting a little bumpy with this wind coming out of the tunnel here. Did you have any problem with that?
Yeah, so was I. So was I. It's just bumpy and the wind's coming down, so the boats are going to be real free. So we'll have to chase the setup a little throughout the day, and the guys will do that.
All right, Dave, get a win here. Good job. So far, Dave Villawak, nice run.
It's a scene we've seen many times before here at Seattle and everywhere else on the unlimited hydroplane circuit. The Budweiser taking Heat 1A. We'll come back and have the, well, here are the unofficial results. We'll have the officials in just a moment. But Budweiser, Elam, the Grand Central Casino, there's Skyway Park in fourth, Lumar, and then the Vacationville did not finish. They'll get that motor fixed and get ready for their next time out in Heat 2A or 2B as assigned by the powers that be. And we'll be back with Heat 1B. A lot of racing yet today. We've got the first one under our belts.